Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to move a nested JSON file to a CSV file. I suppose that you already know how to create a copy date activity, a link service, a dataset, but if not, you can refer to my previous videos where I explain this step by step and in detail. But for the purpose of this video, I'm only going straight to the point and show you how to do it with a simple trick. So let's say that you already created your copy date activity. You have as a source your JSON file. In my case, I took it from this example from JSON generator web page. I just generated some data and it gave me some nested JSON data here. So yes, let's say that this is the source. We preview the data. It could come also from some API that you already have as a source. Okay, we have our data, perfect. And the target would be the same blob, but we would like the file in CSV format. So, okay, that's what we have. And to put you in situation, when we are running this copy date activity, we have in the left panel the JSON example, and in the right, what would appear in the blob. So as we can see, everything is good. ID, we have the first ID with F5 at the end. We have F5, sorry for that. We have F5 at the end in the first one. For the next element, the ID would be ending in 04 and here in 04, the index 1. Okay, this is cool. The problem is when we are starting to tackle this nested JSON data, that it comes either as a list of values or either as a what we call nested JSON data, that it's a list of dictionaries. So we see that what we have here in the JSON data is not matching at all of what we have here. The same for the nested JSON data. Makes no sense. The zeros here is totally not okay of what we have and not matching of what we have in the left. So how we do this? How we move the nested JSON data into the file and it shows correctly? So two things, because they are slightly different. This is a list of values and this is a list of, say, dictionaries. So for the list of dictionaries, what we have to do is just enable in this copy data activity. We just go to the mapping section and we import the schemas. This is how we would do it in a normal way, but for the nested JSON data, we already, Azure Data Factory already check these two, let's say, nested or difficult properties. So we are just going back with friends. We enable this advanced editor and we import the schemas. And as we can see here, it already catch it. It already catch the childs of this array. And for the tags, if we go to the examples, what we see here, the analysis that I already made for you, is that the tags here, it's only taking the first element. In this case, AZURE, it's AZURE here. For the next ID, what is the first tag? It's lorem. So here is lorem, right? This will be for the second ID. So this is matching of what we have here in our data activity. If we go to the mapping section, this is because it's taking tags, the 0, let's say the first element of the list. So what to do in order to take not only the first one, but also the second and the third one? So what we will need to do is to add one more here, add node, let's say copy paste, and let's make one, and let's call it tags1. In this case, we are changing the name as well, tax 0. And we could create another one so we can check later in the example how it will look like. And we are going for tax 2. It's not pretty self-explanatory, but it's just so you see. And yes, when we will run this pipeline with this structure, we already won't have this, but what we will have is this. Let's say our example again. We will have, first of all, for the first element, right, that is F with F5, we will have Beatrice Fuller with the ID 0, Wright Aguirre with the ID 1, Strada Nixon with the ID 2. It's perfectly retrieving the data. Later, if we are going to the right, we see the columns that we create in tax 1 and tax 2. So tax will be to the first element only, so it will be IRURE. For tax 1, it will be the second element of the list, would be Nostrud, and for the tax 2, would be the third element, let's say, of the tax list, which will be Ahmed. But what will happen if we go to the next ID? That it will be Lorem, Anim, and Reprehendit. Lorem, Anim, and Reprehendit. So that's how you guys, you know that this is the the second ID for this one. That's how you guys retrieve nested JSON data in Azure Data Factory.